This episode of the Play the Game podcast is brought to you by LoneWolfPaintball.com. And when it comes to paintball, Lone Wolf is the name you can trust. They have been in the game since the very beginning as Michigan's premier field and supplier since 1987, and Lone Wolf has built a legacy of excellence, passion, and service that runs deep in the game. From their top-tier customer service to same-day shipping on all orders, Lone Wolf makes sure that you are locked and loaded with your new gear fast. No waiting around, no hassle, just the best brands in paintball delivered straight to your door. They've got it all. Markers, loaders, tanks, apparel, accessories, and more from all of your favorite brands. And whether you're just getting started in the game or gearing up for your next big event, LoneWolfPaintball.com has everything you need. Be sure to check out their YouTube channel at Lone Wolf Paintball and follow them on Instagram at Lone Wolf PB to stay up to date on all the latest gear, exclusive sales, and community content. At Play the Game Podcast, we are incredibly grateful for Lone Wolf's continued support, and we cannot wait for you to become a part of their growing community. Head on over to LoneWolfPaintball.com right now and gear up with the best in the game.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game. He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Oh my God, is this real life? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PTG show. This is episode number 300. Pretty big milestone in the legacy of the Play the Game podcast. I have missed all of you. I know we all have missed all of you tremendously. It's been a wild month. I'm happy to be back with everybody sitting here. Marchie, Stevie, we got the creative director of PTG with us, rocking for the 300th episode. And we're going to have several people rolling through the show. Look, he's got confetti. What is that? The settings on the Mac?
Apple reactions. I forgot to turn it off, but it was a happy accident.
There we go. Let's go.
It works.
So we hope you're all doing amazing out there. What's going on, crew? What do we got?
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
We got an event. In 2 weeks. That's the best time of the year when you're prepping for an event, and layout drops in 2 days. So I'm just super excited to dig into that.
Yeah, same. I absolutely can't wait to dig into that. I'm also really excited to be able to practice with you guys, with Wrecking Crew as well. So being with the Damage Boys, we've got Wrecking Crew in-house. That's going to be awesome, being able to work with the squad. And I know we'll have Thursday to ourselves, just you guys, me. I think we're going to have some of the Damage guys come out as well. So that'll be a very productive day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is like, we've been missing this, the whole time I've been coaching you guys, we've been missing these layout weekends.
It's funny because I was just thinking about it. I was like, man, in my head, like I'm so used to the questions that I already asked you, but I try and really pick my questions carefully because you're busy, I'm busy, we're doing so much. And now you're there and I'm like, am I going to overload them? Like, you're going to be right there. And I'm like, man, you're going to be so tired of me by like Friday afternoon. You're like, just leave me alone. I got my own layout to figure out.
I'm probably going to be telling you before you ask is the thing.
That's even better.
Again, that's the way you have a good productive practice, right? Is when both teams are trying to help each other. And that is actually, I think, a benefit. And Ty, I know you guys practiced DMG this last weekend. Impact has been sparring with DMG on the non-layout weekends. That is kind of a benefit when you have a semi-pro team that you're not going to be competing against in the tournament. You're not withholding information. You're truly there to try to help both parties get better. At least that's how it should be. And that's how good productive practices should go. Sometimes when you practice other top teams before an event, there's a lot of, bravado and competition, and you're just trying to win rather than learn. And it makes for a less productive practice. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Being able to be with you guys, being able to be closer to Wrecking Crew is a huge bonus for sure.
Yeah, the guys are really excited too. Not only to learn from you, but to play against you. Like, you always want to sharpen your sword against, great people.
There's a target on my back all weekend for sure.
Absolutely. Just no. I think Colton already said he was going to walk you off the field. I don't know. Not my words, his. I don't know.
He's got to shoot me first. He's got to shoot me first. Last time we got in a one-on-one, I punked him out of the 50 snake. So don't think I forgot. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't remember that.
You were there. You saw. Maybe you weren't, because you usually don't show up for the first day.
What? You're out of your mind.
Now you were
That's
there, so
fake
you
news.
remember exactly.
I
You
do.
remember.
I do remember. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
give you the credit.
Yeah.
But Damage, like you kind of said, they've been so good to us, and like Joey and all the guys, like it's almost like we're doing it together and not against each other, and that's been just absolutely massive, especially because
Yeah.
some of the things that we've experienced at the pro level is like there's a lot of ego, and these guys completely remove the ego from the conversation, and we just go out there and we have a great weekend, and we try and do what we can for each other. They'll ask us to do things, I'll ask Joey to do things so we can get certain looks and make sure that we're prepared for pretty much anything. And I'm really glad to see you be a part of that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, totally looking forward to it. Ty, who I think you guys were going to Chicago to play Aftershock, right?
That's
Is that
right.
right for
And
that
I
weekend?
think Infamous is going to be out there as well. So we'll see them.
Yeah.
And yeah, what you guys are talking about is super important. You've got to make sure the competition that you're leading into events with is going to be helping give you good information and having good conversations with that team. Obviously, you're not going to see them in the tournament, so you can show unique styles, have good conversations about different types of situations you want to put the teams in to train as best as possible, especially when you have, layouts dropping, spending that extra time on all those details. So, young Stevie, Wrecking Crew, what's going on with the squad for 2025? How are you guys looking moving into the last few events of the season?
You're asking great questions right now, and we're not looking as good as we would like to. We took 5th place twice. We lost in the quarterfinals at both events. The first event, we lost by 1 point in a close game where we felt like we were really missing that, like, for lack of a better term, we call it that fuck it attitude on Sunday, where like we kind of clammed up and started to just play like really scared in the pocket as opposed to asserting our dominance. And then we went into the next event and we had a lot more of that, push it. And then we get to the quarterfinals and we let the moment get bigger than us. We were playing in that absolute downpour. We went down 4-0. We fought back. We brought it back to be a 1-point game. And the moment just got a little bit bigger than us. Like we found our gear a little bit too late. So, we're not out of it. We're in 4th place overall right now, but we have a lot of work to do. And we've gotten together more frequently between events. And that's going to be the trend for the rest of the year. Shout out to Paintball Fit, like showing everybody what it really means when you can put the time in together. So beyond just getting everybody to the same place, we're also playing in groups on our own. So, this past weekend, all the Midwest guys went out to level and made sure that they got their reps in together. We all have individual homework. We're not taking anything for granted, and we're going back to the grindstone really, and getting this job done.
I love it. Besides the like fuck it mentality that you said you guys need to be moving with to have a little more bravado and bring that real high tempo energy into the games, what would you say are some of the cornerstones of being the best team possible on the field? Obviously, off the field chemistry is extremely important. You got to make sure everything's tapped in and dialed. But on the field, what are a couple of the details that you think make not only Wrecking Crew, but the best teams in the world, what they, the champions that they are?
Yeah, I love that, Ty. And I have a thing that I talk about with the guys, and I call it like level 1, level 2, level 3 communication. So level 1 communication, where are they? What are they doing? Level 2 communication is what do we need to do to get to the spots that we want to be in? And then level 3 communication is how do we win the game, right? How do we get ourselves out of this situation with the W? And there's a lot of codes that are stacked within those 3 levels. I don't want to go too deep into our code book and talk about that, but that's really what we've been
I wonder where you
focusing
learned
on. That's what we've been
Wise.
focusing on, is talking about that level 1, level 2, level 3. And for us, we've really been missing that true quarterback on the field this season. And we've been working as a unit to make our picks a little bit, more stable, working myself into the game more than I had been previously, taking off my coaching hat a little bit and putting my player hat on a little bit more. And, even if that means like the first or second point, just really getting the communication flowing on the field to then be able to like set the tone, and then guys can step in and we can start to go from there. Because for us, we like to script the start of the game. We feel like if we put both of the first 2 points on paper, we can mentally lock into how we want to establish the flow of the game, and the pace or tempo that we want to play at. And we really just need to dig into that opening point or two and get back to asserting our will and dominance on the field. So we're all really dialed into that, and everybody's on the same page, which feels great.
Yeah, man. Everybody's got to be quarterbacking out there too, looking out for each other. You know, it has to be the whole unit. It's got to be clicking together. And speaking of flow, obviously you have Flow Paintball. Talk to us about what's been popping off with Flow. You got some new stuff dropping, I'm sure. So what's going on with that? Yeah.
Always cool stuff dropping. The last couple of months, I've kind of just been like in a creative mode where I haven't locked into any kind of larger collection. It's really just been one-off things that make me or inspire me in different ways. So I've been doing a lot of that.
Everything
stuff.
That's been going on has been kind of threw a wrench into production, and it's been wild.
Know. Listen, there's a lot going on overseas. There's a lot going on with import, export. So it's been kind of crazy. But I just released the preview for this NetSpid collection that I have coming out. It's medieval themed. It looks super cool. I know everybody's been really hype on it. So that's going to be like 6 different shirt designs. I'm doing more mask straps, more tank wraps. So we're getting back to that bigger picture drop, and I'm really excited for that. Look for that around August.
Nice, man. Well, keep it up, dude. You've been obviously cultivating your own culture within Wrecking Crew. You got everybody rocking Flow, and that, you know, it's really cool to see that. And I hope that other teams out there can implement that into their systems. Get creative, start your own niche, start your own brand. You know, have fun with this game, and through that, you never know what the possibilities could be. You could create something that has a tremendously long-lasting effect in the game, and it'll be a lot of fun for the community around you too.
Yeah, I agree. And something that's really special to me in paintball, and you know, I've been doing this for like really seriously for like 5 or 6 years now. And when I'm at the field or I'm at an event and I see Play the Game merch, I see Flow merch, you know, it used to be the people that meant the most to me that were supporting me. But now it's gotten so widespread that I'm seeing people that I don't even know wear these things. And it's so cool and it's so fulfilling, and I love it. You know, I'm always trying to give back with the things that I'm making, and keeping an eye on people who are like representing the brand, living the lifestyle, being, you know, a good role model at their local field or just in the game in general, and trying to make sure that they get their hands on cool stuff and, you know, just really like leave my mark somewhere in this game.
Yeah. March, it's episode 300, dog. Let's go.
It's episode 300.
300 episodes of PTG. That's not something to be taken lightly. No. It's been
5 years.
Yeah, it's been 5 years. We have been a part of this amazing paintball community, shedding love, shedding light, helping people develop their skills, helping people throughout all walks of life. So what does 300 mean to you, bro?
To me, it's been a long time connection with the community. You know, when we started this in 2020, it was basically our only way to continue to play or talk about paintball because it was through COVID, right? And so it was truly started out of a passion to continue to bring some sort of paintball to the masses to keep people engaged and focused on the game. And that transpired into, you know, wanting to teach through PTG, wanting to kind of express ourselves through PTG, wanting to get to know the entire paintball community and allow them to get to know us through PTG. And I think that is all, you know, that's all kind of a microcosm of what we've done our entire career, whether it's going to certain clinics or working with teams or whatever it is. And we found this ability to do it on a platform at a much larger scale so that, you know, anybody in the world really could listen if they want. So 300 episodes, it's a lot. It's not easy. It's been pretty much every single week. We had a little hiatus here. It honestly has been a nice couple of weeks off to just kind of refocus, recenter, and really connect with some certain things. But I will say that it has not been an easy ride. It's a lot of effort and a lot of work, and we've done it for so long because of what it does mean to the community, you know, and what I think the value of not just our platform, but all these other platforms. There's so many podcasts now, so many paintball podcasts that, and just shows in general that are geared around paintball, that I think that's a sign that paintball's in a really good spot. People, you know, we talked about, you know, in the last 5 years, we've talked about it on the show, but even before that, the glory days of paintball were kind of when print magazine and all sorts of media was involved in paintball media, right? Media's changed. It's evolved over time. Podcasts are one of the most prominent forms of media now. And so to see kind of all of these shows and platforms come out and enjoy talking about the game, that means the game's back in a really good spot. You know, the game is exciting. There's a lot of, you know, great characters. There's a lot of, you know, really good and interesting things to talk about or to showcase, you know, and we obviously also have amazing videographers and photographers and people that are doing print magazine, you know, all of that as well.
Creative director. Shout out to the creative
director, young Stevie. Yeah. I mean, look, like all the PTG merch has been, you know, heavily inspired by this guy right here. But, yeah, again, you know, 300, what does it represent? I mean, yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. To me, it represents a long-standing connection that we've had with our community.
I love that. What's some of the first things you remember about PTG? I was in the kitchen.
How much we suck.
Dude, it was bad. I mean, it still is pretty bad, but
the cameras, dude. You said you're in the kitchen, dude. It looked like you guys were in a hostage situation. Like somebody was making you do the show at gunpoint.
we had like the fake backgrounds from the Apple, because I was on my MacBook. I think Ty had the MacBook going. We didn't have, you know, other cameras. We had $75 microphone from Amazon, and I mean, we're just making it work. Like that was when I was living in my condo, and, you know, it's just in my living room, you know? And so it's like, oh, well, I'll just put the background kind of thing. And then shout out to Harris Hussein, because if it weren't for him coming on the show and getting me incredibly razzled to where I spilled the water on the keyboard of my MacBook, I never would have upgraded, gotten the actual, you know, nice Mac with the camera, all, you know, the whole thing. So he really upgraded the whole situation. Got to give him some credit too.
Yeah, his mic was out of control on that episode. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, it's been a long ride. It's been a fun journey, honestly. We've had some amazing stories told on PTG, which is really cool. You know, and I think that was the start of it too. If I remember, like, you know, early on, we really cared about, and we still do, it's just you kind of run out of those stories, but we really cared about getting the OGs on to tell their story, because there's nowhere that you can hear their story. You know, like when I meet kids today and they're, you know, 13, 14 years old, and actually this hasn't happened recently because of hormesis, but about 5 years ago, this was the case where you would get kids that didn't know who Oliver Lang was. And I'm like, how could you not know who Oliver Lang is? That
still
is
to this day. Yeah.
See, I don't know. Like, I think they kind of all do now, again, because of hormesis, you know? So like, it's not like it was, but there was a period for a couple years where like I would be working with new kids and I'd reference something from Oliver and they'd be like, who's that? And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, like the late 2010s.
That's like saying, who's Michael Jordan if you're a young basketball player? It just makes no sense to me, you know? And there's so many. Again, Chris Osoya was just so iconic in his day. Bob Long, you know, Shane Pastana back when he played. Like, there have been so many legends that we've been able to have on the show and tell their story and share their perspective and share their experiences, which, you know, is also like a important part of Play the Game. And it's ever evolving, and, you know, who knows what it'll continue to evolve into, but you know, that's kind of the point of things, right? It's kind of the point of life, is to constantly evolve.
That's it. Shout out to Mr. H as well. He was our first guest ever.
First guest.
Yep. So Mr. H, we love you. Hope you're doing good out there. And it has been a really fun journey, man. We actually have some people that are going to be hopping on the show today. I think that we'll leave it a surprise until they get in there, but it's been really cool to be able to connect with everybody, be able to put out these episodes, and then watch, like you said, March, the game has really progressed in tremendous ways. We've seen so many developments, not only in the play style, the industry as well. You know, it seems to be doing really well. People are enjoying the game out there, and we have a lot of big opportunities in front of the game of paintball. And it's cool to see, even this last weekend, they ran that new format out there. I think there's a question in the Discord. We'll kind of hit that in a little bit, but just staying creative. Everyone's out there staying creative, playing a lot of paintball, and enjoying the game the way it should be.
Yeah, from a marketing and media perspective, like just looking at it, I think the ties to like when paintball was at its peak and our desire for that legacy style of media, like the print media and everything, right? Like everybody wanted that. They wanted to be on TV again. They wanted the magazines. They wanted all those things. And maybe we were a little bit slow in the industry to adapt to the more modern media that we're now seeing a major resurgence of, right? Like YouTube was not what it is today when paintball was that big, and podcasts were not what they are today when paintball was that big. So we were a little slow to adapt to these things, but now we're really hitting our stride. And I think we're walking into a new golden age of media in paintball, which is great. Like, we're getting so good at the short form content. Like, Verbal has this new reel that he creates. It's like the best paintball thing that I've seen. And I can't believe it's not bigger yet. When he tracks the ball out of the gun,
it's amazing
to where it hits the target.
The best thing I've seen in paintball.
Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
I was the first. I was the first victim of it. It was a shot Fedorov put on me, and it's funny that he got that because I remember going into the pit and being like, Fedorov just shot me with like the most insane paintball. The way I just got shot was so crazy. I was literally like, I knew where he was. I hardly head checked, and it was this one ball, and like he was gunfighting. And then that reel got posted, and it was of me getting kind of owned. But I was like, dude, I'm not even mad. I'm sharing this. This is the coolest clip of all like that I've ever seen.
Sick.
I think.
So think about it. When paintball started to blow up a little bit on TikTok, we're talking about guys who were just like holding lanes, and the comments are all like, what's this idiot shooting at? He's just wasting his paint. He can't even get the paint in the hopper. Right. And now, like, imagine that clip is the one that gets 10 million views. That elicits this emotional response in you that, like, it's the closest thing that I felt to actually shooting somebody on the field is watching those clips. So shout out to Verb for like cracking the code. And I think that's the next big thing in paintball.
I agree. And other HKs started to do it. Other companies are doing it, but Verb is absolutely the first. And that to me is kind of a groundbreaking development in how to capture media, right? Like, and we've always talked about exactly that on the show. If you could, and we talked about it in slow motion from behind, you know, one of the shooters seeing the ball leave the barrel, travel cross field, and explode off somebody, like that's really visually appealing. Well, Verb took it to like the next level, you know, of capturing the engagement and then zooming in on the ball and watching it travel. Incredible, truly incredible. Verb, you're the man. Keep doing what you're doing. Totally. That is innovation in the space. And again, you know, it's so needed in the sport. People like you to continue to push the envelope. But yeah, absolutely incredible. So hey, we've got our first guest in here. Should we bring him on in?
Absolutely.
Who is it?
It's the OG. We got him.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
300 episodes later. What's up, Paul?
Can you guys hear me?
Done.
Yeah, we got you,
great.
bro. Where's your mic though? You got rap, you got a studio, you do everything from that little space, and you don't show up with a microphone. What's up with you?
You might need to fix your camera though. You're looking a little old.
That's
oh, come on, man.
All right. Hey,
we go.
We need a live rap battle here, right here.
Live.
One and done, baby. I cooked them and it's over.
For everyone that doesn't know, the Goat Squad, the meetings that we have, our monthly meetings, are pretty hilarious. These two have had some crazy rap battles in the Goat meetings, pretty iconic moments for the Goats. But Paul, it's good to see you, bro. Where's the mic? You're a rapper. Where's the mic?
And you have a podcast. Did It Hurt podcast? Like, where is the mic?
Come on, bro.
That was a subwoofer.
He's talking into his Android phone. This is totally an Android moment.
I'm using the camera. Do I sound terrible?
Listen, there's 3 Apple users here. We all look crystal clear. And then there's you on Android over there. I don't know.
Bro, Paul, this is your moment, bro.
This is your moment on episode 300. And you come through. You were putting a shirt on before we brought you in the studio. That's like, what was going on? I saw you in the green room. I'm like, he doesn't have a shirt on.
He was going to wear his whitey tighties.
Yo, Paul.
All right. Do I sound better now?
That sounds a lot better.
This is a move forward. We're moving up the field now. Yeah, we might get to the 50. We might get to the 50. I was actually just in Sacktown with OG Paul, having some fun out there. He was training. We had Impact out there. Always great time seeing Paul. And I got to say, man, this guy right here, Paul, the Did It Hurt podcast, make sure you follow him. He is such a great ambassador for the game of paintball, what he does for divisional paintball, and just people who want to get involved in the game. Maybe they don't have gear. He helps them out. Maybe they don't know what's going on. He steers them in the right direction, and just always being someone who's a pillar in the game. So that's why we wanted to bring you on, Paul. You know, shout out to you
Hey,
for everything that you're doing in paintball, man.
and I appreciate that, man, because my goal is to, the pro players have their own platform. They have so many platforms, but nobody, sticks their necks out for the divisional players. And I felt like,
Well, we do.
that's where my
Look
heart
at us.
Yeah,
We got you.
I
We
know
got
you
the
do. I know
divisional
you
right
do.
here, baby.
But I'm talking about like a platform just strictly for divisional
Yeah,
players, right? So they can
that's
have a
right.
voice, right? I mean,
Yes.
man, I done sent gear all the way to India. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's on my YouTube channel. I sent gear all the way to India and Malaysia, stuff like that, And I've given away jerseys. One of the jerseys you gave me off your back, I gave it to a kid. He never forgot to this
Dude.
day.
Wow.
It's just that my heart for divisional players is just to make sure that they have a voice, they have somewhere to go, and if they want to get something off their chest, they can definitely call the Did It Hurt podcast. Reach out to me and my colleague Malcolm, and we'll make it happen. So that way they can have a voice, because there are a lot of good divisional players out there, but they are not, they're in the background, they're not being seen. So I try to bring them out, and that's just my purpose for that, I'll give an example. California Patriots. Those dudes are balling in Dub C. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know that they are current and former excessive players. So you're getting excessive paintball.
There
you
we
see
go.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so shout out to those guys, man, for making a statement for Modesto and representing really, really, really good, man. And WCPBL, man, it's that what they're doing over there is just absolutely great, man. And it says a lot about Division 4 paintball. It says a lot about Division 5 paintball. It says a lot about even the beginner stage of paintball, and that's where my heart is, man. I feel like D3, D2, D1, semi-pro and pro, that's a whole different level. And that's why I'm always on people about stop ranking up, trying to rank up fast, because when you go from D5 to D3, you're missing nuggets that come out of D4 to prepare you for D3. You see what I'm saying? And if you go to D4 and you're just D6, you're missing nuggets from D5 to be able to compete better in D4.
Paul, real quick.
Go ahead, March.
Real quick, Paul. What are some of those nuggets? What nuggets could you miss along the way?
The communication, like how to really lock down the communication. That is the best. Like young Stevie, I give all the credit to him. Watching him play at the Mid-Atlantic, man, that was crazy how his communication was on point. I still struggle with it. And I've been playing for 8 years, and I still struggle with it sometimes. We all make mistakes, but I can guarantee you, when it comes to D5, you have to learn the communication part. You can make all the moves you want, you can get all the kills you want, the whole 9 yards, but if your communication is not there, you're going to lose. You know what I mean? And my coach is on me about that right now. My coach Robert for Excessive, he's on me about that right now. You can't be dying with information. You see what I'm saying? And then the other nugget is the simple way you're in your bunker. Like Dave Baines says, you got to make love to that bunker. You see a lot of divisionals players, their elbows like completely sticking out, blah, 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 and
spatial awareness is big.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And these little things, if you haven't experienced that in D6, but you go straight to D4, you're not going to have a good time. You're actually going to get irritated and you're going to want to quit. I've seen it happen so many times.
You know what I think the number one thing that people don't learn as they're going up the divisions, Paul? They don't stop and learn how to win, which is the hardest thing to learn. And learning how to win is like you have to stay where you're at, figure it out, get to the point where like you maybe as an individual think that you're better than the division that you're ranked in. But if you haven't learned how to win at that division, you haven't learned how to bring a team with you, like that's something that you got to take a step back and realize is one of the most important and hardest lessons to learn.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I've always been saying, counter to that is you have to learn how to embrace a loss as well as you embrace a win. Because if you don't embrace a loss like you would a win, you're not going to learn you're going to not know how to take a loss. You see what I'm saying? Because when you know how to take a loss, your mindset is already, okay, I got to go back to the drawing board. Let's do it again. Instead of getting angry, throwing fits, because it bothers me when I see teams, when you're winning, it's all good. We're family. We nothing's going to stop us. But then when you start losing,
yeah,
where's that same energy?
Yeah, culture.
That's
You see
right.
what I'm saying? So that's where my mindset is. You know, my coach yelled at me one tournament. He was like, "You guys just fucking lost, and you're running around smiling, laughing." That's because I know how to take a loss. But I get where he was.
I have a good story for that.
Yeah.
Mark, should I tell that story? Paul,
Yeah, go
this
for
is
it.
a really great story. So our first tournament as a team in D3. So this is the first tournament as the Wrecking Crew rebuild with all the BKI kids and me. And we win Sunshine State NXL, and we like dominated. We crushed. So then we go and play the same exact layout at a local tournament. Same thing. We're just cruising all the way to the finals. And then we got really undisciplined and we started getting a lot of penalties. And we lost. We got second place. And we didn't really embrace the loss. We kind of just shook it off and just kind of, we're smiling and doing whatever. And March was like, no. He's like, you guys are not doing laundry tonight. We were driving from that field to Boston paintball for a practice the next day. And we had played in the rain and the sleet and the snow. We were soaked. And he was like, no laundry. You're playing tomorrow in your dirty, wet clothes. We ran suicides. Wow. Like, we did just an absolutely brutal day the next day. And like, from that moment forward, like, I took every loss straight to heart. Like, it immediately in that moment taught me, how to conduct myself in that moment. Like, it was a big ego check for us after we had just done so much, and really we weren't shit yet, and we still aren't shit. But like, at that moment, you recognize an opportunity to like really teach us a lesson, and that was a very cold and wet lesson.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but it's just, for me, it's different because, when I embrace that loss, I already know where I need to work on it. Right. And
losing is learning in that moment.
For me, especially for me being in the beginning stage, you guys been in it for a long time. Marcelo, I wouldn't expect nothing less from Marcelo to have you do some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So, it's different for me being at a lower level division, and it's kind of like, I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Like, I just got asked to go play D3. I told him straight up no. I told him straight up no. I'm not. That's insane. Why would I go there?
I saw those pictures of you diving.
Yo, hey,
those are some D3 looking dives. I don't know.
Yeah, he's taking the snake off the break. Paul, you're in your 50s, right?
Yeah, 53.
53 years old. He's taking the snake off the break, diving in, crawling around, and I feel like paintball has done wonders, obviously, as we get older, the body starts to hurt and feel a certain way, but continuing to play the sport, I'm sure, has been really good for your health.
Yeah, shout out to Marvin Gerber, man. He really helped me as far as health wise, and he Shane Howe as well. Those two, and the Boyum brothers as well. They all trained me, bro. Like the former pro team DMG, they all trained me. And I'm talking about Joe Barrett, all of them. And I would not, as far as diving, Marv Gerber is the one that gets the credit for that, because he was just like, bro, you got to stop being fucking lazy, bro. You got to get in there. You want to be a dog, you got to get in there. If you want to move up rank, you got to get in there. And ever since then, I took it to heart to get the craft right. And I had to get it out of my mind that I need to prove myself because I'm of age. I had to get rid of that mindset. You know what I mean? I need to get in there and just go ball out and go play. You know what I mean? And when I see you guys there, Marcelo and Tyler, no, I'm not playing to impress you guys. I'm playing to just keep moving. You know what I mean? I'm playing like I'm supposed to be playing. You got guys that'll see you guys there and they're trying to do moves just to impress you guys, and then they might mess around and get hurt, or, they did a dumb move or whatever, trying to, be finesse. Nah, man, I'll never forget when Joe Barrett told me, he said, I don't care how it looks. As long as you get in there and do your job, that is all that matters. Stop trying to look pretty.
Facts.
For the team. Yeah. That's right, Paul.
That's why another OG in the
we do
right now. One of the excessive guys as well.
Yeah.
Last camp OG, triple OG.
We're gonna bring him in here in just 1 second. Paul, that's why we love going to Dub C so much, dude. Getting to see players like you, getting to see all the divisional players that are making strides at their dreams. And we cannot thank you enough for everything that you're doing in the game.
I gotta get one shout out. Get one shout out. It's a must. I got to get a shout out to City of Trees, man, because that they are my biggest accomplishment. Because I remember when they were just playing rec ball, and I said, "Why don't you guys come over here and play X ball?" And now they're 2-time champions at
Yeah.
CPL. See what
Let's
I'm
go.
saying? So
That's
I got to
amazing.
give a shout out to City of Trees, man. So, but
Let's
hey,
go.
I love you guys. Congratulations
You too,
on your
man.
300
Can I ask
episode.
Paul one question before he
You
leaves?
better not beat about the damn steak either.
Paul, how do you like your steak cooked?
You already know. You already know.
Medium well.
Oh, disgusting.
There we
Medium
go.
So
well.
disappointed. You just represented yourself so well. You did all these great things, and you ruined it all by cooking your steak medium well.
You don't
Dude.
even want to know. I'm not doing no blood. It's bad enough Marcelo's going to make me eat raw sushi.
There's
bro,
no blood in the steak, but we'll talk about that later.
We got all
so-
the banter popping off in the chat. Paul, before you go, where can they follow you on socials like YouTube, Insta, all that?
You can follow me on Instagram, did_it_hurt, and you can follow me on TikTok, did it hurt 50, did it hurt all in one word. You can also go on YouTube. You can follow me at Did It Hurt All in One Word podcast, paintball podcast. It'll pull right on up. And again, to any divisional players, if you want to have a voice, me and my colleague Malcolm, shout out to Malcolm, we will definitely have you on the show, and we will make sure that you get represented well. It's your boy, Did It Hurt. Holla back.
Let's go. Let's go, Paul. Thank you for stopping
Love it,
by,
Paul.
man.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for everything
Anytime,
over the years.
brother. Congratulations, guys.
Yes, sir. We'll see you
Thank
soon.
you, Paul.
Later,
All
dude.
right.
Peace.
Stevie, I love that you brought
legend.
up that it's not blood in steak. Everyone always says it's blood. It's not blood.
I know. That's like the number one thing that people say when they're like, I don't eat medium rare steak or rare. It's just bloody. I'm like, it's not blood, but it's okay.
It is funny. Well, all right. We've got our next guest. I'm excited to just chat with this guy. It's been a while.
Snapshot. He's at the beach right now.
He's at the beach. We're pulling him in, baby.
Yo, snapshot.
Whoa.
Snapshot Sully.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can hear
got
you, bro. We can hear you.
let's
We can
go.
see you.
Did you just leave the gym? What's going on?
Nah, bro.
He's at the gym.
Northern Idaho, Lake Coeur d'Alene. This is where I spend all my free time. If I'm not playing paintball, I'm playing volleyball, chilling at the lake with my family.
That's amazing.
Hey, let me get this straight. This is the 300th episode?
Yes, sir.
That would be correct.
Let's go.
That's so cool, man. Hey, first off, I just want to say an honor to be on here with you guys, man. To pull me in on the 300th episode is sick.
Dude.
I was talking to Tyler the other day, and I'm just so happy for him and you, Marcelo. You guys are doing an amazing job. And if a podcast for paintball isn't growth, then I don't know what is, man. You guys are killing it. You guys are bringing a lot of cool people on here from different sports, different walks of life, including myself, and giving us an opportunity to kind of just let you know where we're at in life and chat it up. And I think it's really important for the sport. So thank you.
It is, man. Well, thank you, Riles. If anybody that doesn't know, me and Riley came up together playing on Oakland Assassins 20 years ago. So he's been in the game for a long time and actually has been playing some 10v10 tournaments. He just got done with playing with Philly. So how was that out there? Uh-oh, he's at the lake. Is the service? Are we connected?
It's breaking up. Is it breaking up for you guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we got you back though.
Oh, are we back?
We're back.
My bad.
I was asking about the 10v10.
ICPL.
Yeah.
Yo, it's crazy. So a couple more teams joined up. Trauma came out, which was so cool. I didn't even get to talk to him because it's just like it's pretty busy 10 on 10. Like you're either morning or night, and sometimes you don't get to see the teams. But Trauma came out, New England Hurricanes, a lot of those guys, OG guys. Man, what a cool thing to see those guys back playing paintball at a high level. And y'all can talk about the ICPL, but until you come out, man, like winning one of those tournaments, bro, is hard. It is hard. So I'm just waiting. We'll see what they got in 10, man. They seem to have X-Ball locked down, so
Heck
have
yeah,
them
man.
come out. But yeah, no, it's been great. I'm trying to get Tyler out there with me.
Yes, sir.
Or you, Marcelo, but just to kind of grow that side of it, man. But yeah, it's amazing. It's fun. It's good for a guy like me that I can't commit, a month of my time to paintball right now because I got 5 kids and I'm a deputy and just life. And I was telling Tyler the other day, I want to bring this up really quick. Little side note.
Yeah.
How proud I am of him to be raising a family and still playing professional paintball. people do not realize how hard that is. And Tyler doesn't just play professional paintball. He plays at the highest level. And, yeah, he's my boy, but he's, in my opinion, the best player in paintball right now. And he's doing it with a family. You don't make a lot of money, man. You're not an NBA player where you get to bring your family to every event and go stay in the highest class hotel and just live that mansion life. You know what I mean? It is hard. And that's one of the reasons I don't play anymore. So shout out to him, Thomas Taylor, and all the guys doing it with families, man. That's crazy.
Damn.
That is crazy.
Well, much love,
I love
Riles.
you guys. And it's so cool, man.
Well, it takes a tribe, dude.
So-
It's literally the community. It's the community.
Well, and Tyler has an amazing family too that supports what he does, which is so important, you know, because like he says, it definitely takes a tribe. It takes everybody around you supporting you because you're sacrificing a lot of time with them for, like you said, not much in return. You know, there's you know, it's this game is very fulfilling in many ways, but in the wallet, not so much. There's a lot of different ways you can, you know, go and spend the time and probably get a much bigger return. But you know, we all fell in love with the game at a young age, and it's been fulfilling in I don't know, in ways that money also can't buy, right? So there is a pretty big return, and I do think like it brings a lot of value back to your family and your kids, and you know, these experiences that you get to have, and the you know, things that the game teaches you as well. You know, it really is a very valuable thing. So yeah, definitely not easy. It's a massive juggling act, but I think, you know, I'll make the argument that it's worth it any day of the week.
I have two things on that. Something Riley said and something you said, March. Like, one of the reasons why we all become such great friends is because we're all aware of the sacrifices that we're making to be where we are, right? Like the guys that you surround yourself with at events, like you're giving up so much to be with those guys. And then Riley was talking about ICPL. I love that there's a format that allows people to stay in the game beyond just playing at the pro X-ball level, but it's still competitive. Like, that's another reason why we all fell in love with the game, because we're competitors. Like, I can't sink my teeth into rec ball. I just can't. It doesn't do anything for me. But like the crushing moment where like it's win or go home, like that fire that lights inside of you is, you know, second to none. And ICPL like still gives you some of that, and you can do it further into your life without all that extra commitment. So it's awesome to see that develop.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're playing teams like Infamous. You got a bunch of teams that have current pros in, and it's really great for a guy like me that if I'm not playing at that high level, I'm probably not playing paintball anymore. No offense, I'm just that competitor. I'd just rather go do something else with my family. But given that option is really cool. So yeah, just super happy to still be playing paintball. Yeah. And I say that because everyone sacrifices, but the dude with the family, y'all better look out for him, man. He wants it more. I promise. Dude, we need to get you on for a full episode, Riley, because your story is amazing. You were one of the best to ever do it at you know, a pretty good portion of your career. You're at the top of the game. I know we don't have much time, man, but I just really appreciate y'all. No, I'm just saying. I just want to, dude. I would love 100%. Yeah, no, because it's awesome that you're back in the game. And yeah, your entire story. I also want you to know, dude, that hey, I want you to know, Marcelo, that for all these fools that are judging your character and who you are as a person after all these years, man, that's wild. They need to check themselves, bro. And I'm really sorry that all that happened, but I know who you are as a person. You're a man, and I know things related and just grew you. But so y'all better look out for damage, man. That's gonna get wild. I'll just chip on my man's shoulder. So, oof. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, so much for having me on the episode. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, we got to get you at your computer and not at the beach next time.
Yeah,
you're on the mobile, brother.
A little bit.
Hey, this is all I could do. I got one day
better
off,
than nothing, bro.
Sorry, but I love you guys, and yeah, thank you for having me on. We'll get another one going. I'd love to chat it up.
Yes, sir, Riles. You be safe. All right, give our love to the fam. Let's go.
Thank you so much. All right,
appreciate you, brother.
Later, bro.
Peace.
All right, bye.
Peace. Dude, he's the
Snapshot
best.
Sully, dude. Yeah, Snapshot. I mean, again, he was iconic, and like he was literally, his nickname was Snapshot Sully for a reason. He was one of the best gunfighters in the league. That was his kind of claim to fame, and you know, he won a lot of big time gunfights and big moments.
Yeah.
And yeah, had a very storied career. So
Yeah. We
one of the
we gave
greats.
him that name on Oakland because at the end of practices, it was snapshot solely time. He was challenging everybody. You know, he wanted the smoke with
Yeah.
everyone. Any of the best players on the opposing team, challenging them to one-on-ones. And him and I played so many one-on-ones when I was younger. It was kind of crazy. And I'm sure our team was like, damn, these players want it, because at the end of every single practice, we were the ones out there, you know, going battling each other, looking at the field, walking it, shooting all the shots, doing all the things that really hone in the skills out there on the paintball field, that you've got to do that work, you know, so that your shots are second nature once you get out there.
Yeah, dude. Agreed.
Yes, sir. All right, we got another guest in the green room here. My boy, my teammate, Mr. Nick Love All in the house. What up, dog?
My old teammate. My old
What's
teammate.
up,
We
dude?
were teammates for a little
I
bit.
remember that.
Damn, dude.
I
That was
remember
recent.
those days.
Yeah, last time there was a show, we were teammates. Fuck.
Yeah. I like the optics here. What do we got going on? You got the lighting? It's
Oh,
looking
thanks,
good.
dude. Yeah,
Got a
this is my
trophy.
this is my streaming background right now.
Legendary. Yeah.
I've
Go
got
check
I've
the
got a lot more
YouTube
to
out.
do.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's
my
talk
YouTube
about
is
that.
my YouTube's pretty sparse right now. I mostly am on TikTok, but I have just moved into being on Twitch and YouTube. So
You're twitching?
yeah, I'm twitching, dude. I
Dude,
mean,
that's rad.
it's just not the way to grow, like, to be found. I'm trying to do this, like, separate of paintball, so
Mhm.
but, yeah, no, I've been grinding, it's been awesome, and for those of you who don't know, I play a lot of Fortnite.
Yes. Yeah, I want to talk to you about this actually. Let's dive into what you've been doing, because you've been honestly doing a lot of work for the game of paintball as well through your streaming. So kind of give us like all the details on what you've been doing with the streams. You have a bunch of people who are subscribed to you as well, creating an amazing community and overlapping the game of paintball into Fortnite, because there's so many similarities on how you apply pressure to the field map, how you communicate, connect all the dots. So like talk about that journey and what that's been like.
Yeah, dude, you nailed it. I mean, like, I have enjoyed video games because of paintball for a long time, and I've enjoyed paintball because of video games, and, there's, like, such a crossover there, and I know all of us can agree in the blessings that paintball has given us in terms of, whether it be discipline, different ways to think about things, collaboration, communication, um, making things as simple and complex as you want to make them, mentality, the list goes on. And a lot of times I see, you know, a lot of other streamers just, I mean, their personalities more than they are analysts. And the way that, like, us three have gone into, like, BKI and teaching and stuff, I just think that
Mm.
there's such a incredible crossover in terms of, like, what especially, like, younger kids and males can learn from, like, actually applying themselves to something that they enjoy. I think that, like, you know, video games oftentimes are a time waster, a throwaway, but, like, as most people know now, I mean, like, people are making millions
Yeah.
playing them. And yeah, so I just am taking, you know, what we've been doing in terms of teaching the game, and, like, having a lot more tools in terms of, like, replays and, like, going over things, and it's just been really enjoyable, like, breaking down why someone lost a gunfight or
Mm.
why this player should have moved to this position. And the overlap is incredible, and ideally there becomes an overlap with people and kids, and hopefully people are like, "Oh my god, now I see why you get this, I wanna go try it," because you have such a passion for paintball. And then, I mean, hopefully people in paintball find a way to translate that over and do practice that doesn't necessarily beat up their body or spend a lot of paint.
Mm.
Nick, I love that you said that because number one, like, there's a lot of people out there that will watch TV. They'll like binge watch TV for 3 hours a night, right? But they'll be like, "Oh, you're wasting your time playing video games." Whereas, like, it can be so social. And a good example, a lot of the young guys on Wrecking Crew, they like to play Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, if you guys don't know,
Yeah.
and they use our code list for
Yeah.
like communication within the game. And then, you know, that's really building team chemistry, number one. And then number two, it's like creating that conversation as the second nature. So there's a lot to unpack there to see like how you could use that to even further build that, that bond amongst teammates when you guys aren't playing the actual games together.
For sure. And I think that there's been evidence in my life, at least, like when J-Rab and Mouse were on the team, we definitely did the same thing that the Wrecking Crew guys do. And it just gets you in the mentality of like knowing what the other person's thinking, streamlining those codes. And you're basically sandboxing your paintball practice. And there's absolutely benefit in terms of like getting team together to do things like that, because you're mimicking the game. You really are.
Completely. Absolutely, man. It's a microcosm of what we see on the paintball field there. So how can people get involved in your community? If you play Fortnite and you want to, join in and be a part of Nick's community and even get some details on how to play paintball as well, how can people do that?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm Nick Love All on all socials. Maybe Nick Love All TT on some of them. That stands for TikTok. That's my username.
Okay, hold on. So that it's just LOVEALL, or is it your last name? Okay,
that's correct. And that's a lot of like the more than branding aspect. Like, I think paintball, like video games, it like brings a lot of different types of people together, and being able to do that in a way that, like, I mean, how many stories have you heard of like some guy in California is now friends with a guy in Europe, or like a couple gets together, and just like having that ability. I think that idea of being like a community that, people with the mindset of like, hey, we're going to grow together, we're going to build together, and we're going to be like respectful yet competitive, which is like also a fine line to walk sometimes. But like, yeah, that's sort of the vibe I'm putting out, and it's like if you're on that vibe, then we're gonna get along great. And actually, who I've been playing quite a bit with is Little Rab, Brandon Rabikoff. And so like, it's very cool to like, and I will like get more pros to come play with me at some point, but it's really cool to show like video game people. I'm like, yeah, this guy has never played this game before. I guarantee you he's going to be pretty decent in a team gunfight situation, and being able to show that off. They're like, wait, like this guy just started playing. I'm like, I know, dude. It's like that paintball, that it'll do that for you.
Yeah, it is amazing, man. It is. Who you get down on games, Steve, at all?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
Quite a bit.
Anything that's a first-person shooter, lock me in.
Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for the tremendous support with the PTG show. If you are enjoying these episodes and want to help with the progress and development of this program and connect with like-minded, hungry paintball players, then head on over to ptgpodcast.com, click the orange Patreon link, and become a member of the PTG World Discord chat room. And now back to the show.
Let's go.
Love that.
Dude, my kids are wild. Theo was into Fortnite for a while. Max is still into it, but now it's like kind of not cool to Theo. He's into like some other game and stuff. It's funny how it all goes.
Right now is going crazy.
Dude. Yes, that one's going wild. If you haven't heard of that,
Splitgate. So quick story, like Halo 2 was like the best arena shooter ever, and they kind of stole the source code and made their own version of it, but they added portals, like the game Portal. Then it didn't really, legally it didn't work out well. So now they rewrote everything and did it the right way, and they just relaunched it. And it's an arena shooter.
Interesting.
So a lot of the maps are symmetrical, and all of the game types are very communication based. And the portals add like a different element, but it's phenomenal. Splitgate 2.
Dang, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, my wife and I play that like every night right now.
Is it
that's
on
what playing with wifey?
computer?
That's sick.
Computer game, Xbox?
Yeah, it's on everything.
Everything.
And it's free to play too. So like that's another great thing about games these days is like if you can get your hands on the hardware, pretty much everything is free to play. You just fire it up and just let it rip.
And Max platform, which is like so sick. It's just like we wished for that when we were kids. Like, your buddy had a different system, and you're like, well, I guess we're enemies now.
So you had a PlayStation, I had an Xbox. It's like we can't be friends.
Well, now it's phone wars. It used to be like Xbox versus PlayStation.
Now it's Apple versus
iPhone
Android.
versus Android. But yeah, like you just hop in a Discord chat and you can pretty much play any game cross-platform. It's amazing.
Nick, what's one of your favorite episodes of the 300 that we've put out into the world in the last 5 years?
Oh my God, that's so hard. And first of all, super proud of you guys, because like, I mean, being able to do that much of anything, I mean, I understand how much work it is. I don't know how that most people probably don't. And so kudos to you. I actually really liked what I think it was your 200th episode where you did something similar to this, where you like had a
Yeah.
bunch of people on for stints. I thought that was super cool. I love the like sort of the ability to like hop back and forth. And you guys are great conversationalists, and so to like go from one vibe to a complete other, I like as a listener, like I like that because I'm just like, okay, what's next? And also like, all right, I get it, you know. And so
Mhm.
like I love those like compilation episodes. I think they're good.
Mhm.
Well, all the trolls out there that are listening, because we know they're out there and they love this kind of stuff. They want to know if we have like bad blood and all this stuff with, in between all of us. And it's all love in this community, man. Honestly, from the core. And I know, Nick and I are sitting here. We definitely are going to miss having you out on the field, Marcelo, because you're one of the best players in the world, without a doubt. Damage, had a major pickup by getting you on the squad. And we got layout drop that is happening here in just a couple days. So we're rolling into the Ohio event, and I'm very excited to see what this event's going to look like. We got a new tournament, a new space that we've never been to. So it's really cool that we're also developing that aspect of it as well. And I know on the back end, we're looking at different ideas on how we can have the best venues and show possible for the community. So the work never stops. The community keeps pushing forward, and we're going to keep making sure that paintball is the greatest product in the world, so that when we debut this to everybody, hopefully we can get something to catch fire here and people can really fall in love with the game like we all have.
Yeah, and I do want to comment on like the bad blood. Like, first of all, like as an individual, like I'm too tired. I got too much stuff to do to dislike anybody, especially somebody, that I've spent a lot of time with and, like have respect for in a lot of different facets of life. And so like I ain't got time for that. I wouldn't have shown up if I had bad blood against this
No,
guy. You know
but
what I mean?
that's
I would have
how
been like,
that's
nah.
how that's how the world works. It's
Yeah.
it's just it's a wild landscape, man.
People want to pit each other against each
Yeah.
other right now, and it's just who
Super
has time for
divisive.
that?
Yeah,
Isn't it
absolutely.
funny that like sometimes that people that preach the most love also encourage the most hate? And so like I
Mm.
think that, if you do have something against that, sometimes you gotta, take a look at yourself and realize like, am I putting more negativity than I'm creating? And so like it doesn't matter what side you are on in terms of sides. It's like if you're not looking at that aspect of your own life, then you're probably messing up a little bit.
Mhm.
Nah, dude, you are so correct. I mean, it's happening right now. You're seeing it in Los Angeles with the riots and with the chaos,
Mm.
and you have people that are so far on one side saying, it's President Trump's fault and he's sending in the National Guard and flaming things, and then people on the right are like, well, they're burning police cars and attacking, military and ICE agents, and like, what's going on? The only thing that is coming from any of this is radicalization on both sides. That's the only thing. You have further and further division. These were not peaceful protests, and it's like that is kind of every disagreement that it seems like we have in the world right now. Is it's so inflammatory, and it becomes such a, if you don't agree with me, then you are bad. If you are on this side, you are bad. All of you is bad, every part of you, and we should just completely get rid of you. And people on both sides feel that way, and you never get a chance to come to any sort of common ground. And that is kind of the beautiful thing of paintball, which we were talking about, is paintball is the common ground for so many people. You do have somebody in California that builds a relationship with somebody in Europe that they would otherwise never get to know, never get to experience. I talked about this a little bit on Isaac's show, but paintball has given me the ability to travel all across the world and sleep in the homes of people that have vastly different views, vastly different beliefs, some crazy, some not crazy, some whatever you want to call it. But our common ground was paintball. And through that, we were able to have good conversations and kind of come to some sort of understanding of like, okay, I think you're probably a good person. We could disagree on this. We can work forward through this. Like, that to me is the better way forward. And Nick, the way you said it is so right. Like, people believe that they're doing the right thing and that they're, standing up for something. And I'm not even talking about what happened with me. I'm just talking in general, because things are happening on such a crazy scale right now across the world, overseas, in the US itself. Things are so hostile towards one another that the only way that that ends up going, if it continues down that path, is some kind of crazy civil war or more unrest, more radicalization. Being able to, it's really tough, right? When you're on a side where you feel like you're being oppressed, or you are being bullied, or you're being, talked down to, or whatever scale you want to take that to, if you can, from that position, still show love and compassion and empathy, that is the best way to be able to get your point heard, and to get people from the other side to say, you know what, maybe we should listen to what this person is saying, rather than kind of proving them right, even though, you think you're proving yourself right, and causing more of an inflammatory situation, more division, more hate. Again, like that quote is really powerful, but hate doesn't drive out hate. It just does not. Right. And so,
Yeah, and I think that like a lot of times people focus on like the ends justify the means. I know that's like a really common saying, but like I think the older I get, the more that I realize that the means justify the ends just as much as the ends justify the means. And you could have a really powerfully somehow 100% true stance or idea of the way that the world should be, and if you move towards that through an ugly or violent way, then it's kind of all for naught in a way. And so like I think that those are two sides of the same coin. I think that the way that you do something is as equal as to what your goal is, even though intention is very important.
I
love the
with that,
saying,
yeah.
an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Doesn't work. And like the people that are the most hateful that I've experienced are people who only surround themselves with people that think like they do. And you never challenge yourself. You never put yourself in situations where you're learning. And even if that doesn't mean that you agree, you're still learning. And people have opinions of things because of their own life experiences. And if you don't understand where they're coming from, again, whether or not you agree or not, that's a very difficult thing to do to yourself, is to just surround yourself with only people who think like you. You got to
Echo
experience the
chambers.
other side.
Yeah. Echo chambers are never good. I mean, that the only thing you do when you isolate people that you disagree with, if everybody does what you want, if everybody isolates the people that you disagree with, or the people that you think have, let's call them dangerous ideas, if you isolate them and try to shut them out, the only thing that happens is those so-called dangerous ideas continue to grow, because that means that the only people that they will surround themselves with are other like-minded people. They don't have anybody to reason with. They don't have anybody to show them compassion or love from the other side. So it perpetuates and gets more and more dangerous and more radicalized. And again, it really comes down to understanding humans and how humans work, understanding sociology, understanding that the reality is you need people with opposing views. You need to be able to come to the table and have reasonable conversations with no matter who it is. Like, I honestly pride myself on the fact that I have so many friends from different backgrounds with like crazy, not just beliefs, but also like things that they've done, things that they've done that are, whether they've been in jail, whether they've stolen, whether they've done drugs, whatever it is. I pride myself that I've been able to find common ground with, and I'm not perfect either. I have my own history, but to be able to find common ground with people, pretty much across the globe, and build some sort of relationship and understanding for one another is really the best way forward for humanity. Forget countries and, that kind of stuff, but for civilization itself, for humanity, trying to understand people is pretty important. I don't know. I don't think that's a crazy take.
Yeah, and the internet is absolutely wild place. It obviously feeds on there's a certain algorithm that it's working with, and that's why it's kind of like we watch this Mission Impossible movie. The entity it has a lot of momentum, and we just have to be very mindful of everything. And honestly, as long as we all go about, I think the best thing that we can do is just setting good examples everywhere we go. Leaving flowers in barrels. You know what I'm saying? Like those iconic photos of putting flowers in barrels, and just trying our best to be a great example and leave not only the world, but the game that we love so much a better place for the future, for the kids coming up, for all the individuals that are involved. That's our responsibility. And I think we're doing a really good job as a whole, man. The paintball industry is one of the greatest spaces in the world, and I really see tremendous potential for this game. And I know we all do, and that's why we all love this so much. And and continue to pour our hearts and souls into this. It's been something that's been a part of a lot of the people, if not all, that are tuned in right now, your lifestyle, getting you out of the house, into a community, into laughter, into good moments when things get tough, you know? So just everybody keep pushing forward and playing paintball and having fun and being the best examples that we can, you know, for this game and for the larger picture at whole.
Yeah, and Tyler, you're truly someone who walks that walk. And so I genuinely respect you for that. I think that you hold yourself to that standard. I mean, almost every second I see you. And so, I mean, if anyone's looking for someone to look for, I mean, it's honestly crazy some of the people that come out of this game. So I agree.
Yeah, dude.
I'm working. I'm trying harder. To be
Let's
that
go.
more.
We all are, man. We're all in this together. And that's the illusion. The illusion is separateness. We're not separate. Like there's this mass illusion going on that we are not connected, but we are. All of us are connected.
Ty, put the tinfoil hat on.
Bro, I got it right here.
Because
I got the tinfoil hat.
If you really want to talk
here.
about how we're all connected, we can get into some string theory here. I'm just saying.
I knew Nick was coming on. I was like, do I need the tinfoil hat? And then I was like, yeah, Nick's coming on the show. Of course I'm gonna grab the tinfoil hat. Come on. What are we talking about here?
What do you got?
I don't have one.
Beam it in.
Dude, beaming it right on in, brother. Yeah, the tinnies. This was the best couple bucks ever spent on PTG. Best investment ever. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Y-Files. If you're not watching the Y-Files,
is an icon
go get it.
The tinfoil hat, and the Y-Files are sick.
Yeah, they are.
That was going to be my question for you, Nick. Hit us. What's been a great conspiracy theory that you've recently stumbled upon or have gotten deeper into?
Oh boy.
Hollow Earth. A little bit of Hollow Earth.
I guess right now the one that's like has been touching me most is like dead internet theory.
Whoa. What's that?
It's sort of like the way that the internet has been compounded and monopolized in terms of search engine. Like there really isn't a search engine that isn't the big G. And if anyone grew up in the early internet days, I know things go offline. There's servers that don't exist anymore, but the results are smaller and more targeted and directed, and generally more ads than at least I was used to growing up. And so that's why there's a thing called the Wayback Machine, where you can go and see things that are very hard to find now, but you know,
internet time capsule.
Yeah, those capsules get shrunk and shrunk, and as Tyler brought up that amazing movie, I think that like as the library shrinks, so do the diversity of ideas and perspectives. And so like people definitely need to be careful about that when they're no matter what they're receiving their information from, whether it's a controlled source or a dishonest source. And it's just becoming more confusing as those things are propagated. So I think that one specifically is
that's a deep one.
Dive in. Yeah. Holy shit.
I was going with like the city under the pyramids in Egypt.
That one's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's really
a little less
interesting.
ominous, but
yeah, I guess so. But like I guess I'm getting more into the idea of like, you know, there's certain things that you can't know, but there's certain things that you probably should because they affect your life and the people around you. And so I guess as people get more and more open to that ability to take on maybe a ridiculous idea, it's some of the more ridiculous ideas are harder to reach out and understand in a way that aren't oversimplified to be stupid.
Damn, dude. All right, everybody dive in. Get in there. Nick, what keeps you in the game after all these years, man? What draws you back week in, week out?
Honestly, I love the little moments in the game. I love like I don't know, being put in a bad spot and fighting back with a teammate. I love the strategy of maybe like, oh, no one's thought of this. Let's try this. It's literally actually playing the game. And like I know that there's, you know, friends, loved ones, opportunities, places to go, things to see, but like the thing that I'm truly addicted to that keeps me coming back is I just love the actual like puzzle piece chess match of the game, and like truly being in it and like feeling, you know, my heart race and feeling like I don't know, the chips falling and trying to fight back. Like I think that just being in the actual point is all that I need to keep coming back personally.
Love that. Yep.
Yeah, there's not much like it. That's for sure. It is one of the greatest forms of meditation, in my opinion. You're just fully in the moment, submersed when you're in a tournament setting in a point. Even in practice, it could get like that, but there's nothing like a tournament. Being in midpoint in a tournament is one of the greatest feelings of all time.
Yeah, it's all on the line. Everything right there in those moments.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, before we let you go, one thing that I wanted to ask you was, where was that at? If you had one message for the up and coming players, the youth out there, people, maybe they don't want to go pro, they want to just accomplish their goals in divisional paintball with their teams. What would that be? What would that message be for those players out there?
I guess find the answer to Tyler's last question that he just asked me, and whatever your answer is, enjoy that and chase it, and work on that thing. So, you know, if the community keeps making you come back, then be a great example in the community and nurture the community. If the thrill makes you keep coming back, then put yourself in the thrill. And so whatever your answer for that is dive in.
Love that, man. Yeah, you've been rocking with us for, I mean, I think since the beginning of this whole entire project, and
Yeah,
it's been awesome to have you on so many of the episodes, Nick. You always bring such a great energy and the most fun content. The tinfoil hats go crazy, and we can't thank you enough, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm like, it's honestly wild. You know, like I love like just supporting people doing things, but then like, you know, friends doing things is like even cooler. And so I'm pumped that you guys have gotten to where that you've gotten in, and like
300
put together the
Holy
community
smokes.
that you have. It's been a powerful thing. And so like, but with the great power comes great responsibility. So I mean, hopefully your responsibility gets to a place that you can always handle it.
Wise words.
Love that.
Wise words, my
Indeed.
man. Well, gentlemen, it's been real. It's been fun. March, I know that you have to get going, and I can't thank everyone for tuning in. Like, thank you for all the support over the years. It truly means the world to us. So much love to everybody out there, and we'll see you on 301. I'm sure we'll have some fun content rolling into the tournament, and just be diving into everything Ohio here shortly.
Ohio, let's go, boys.
I know,
Yeah.
2 days and we did a layout to dig into.
Yep.
Nice.
Let's get
Yeah,
it.
I can't wait. We'll definitely be in the Discord talking about the layout, so don't miss that. I'll actually be flying to Tampa on Wednesday, so I'll have a lot of time to be on the phone. So
There we go.
we'll dive in.
We'll see you in the Discord, everybody, and thank you all for tuning in. Much love.
Peace.
Peace, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to the show. We appreciate your support more than you know. As you guys heard about midway through the episode, if you guys would like to support PTG in any way, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. You could click the orange Patreon link and sign up at any level and get access to our Discord. The Discord is one of the most phenomenal communities in the game of paintball. We have so many different channels in there. It's great for learning. It's great for connecting, finding teams, selling equipment, whatever it is you want to do in there. We truly have it all. And we hope to see you in there. So again, head over to ptgpaintball.com, click the orange Patreon link, and we will see you in there.